Man, this has got to be one of the coolest looking engines I've ever seen. What's up, riders? Old Man Ronin here, and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, we're on the 2022 Kawasaki W800 in the standard edition. Huh, turned off my turn signal. Yeah, you know, it is what it is. But we're out here and we're going to do a first impressions video on this. And I'll tell you what, I think you guys are going to be surprised what I really think of this motorcycle, because you'll find out. Stay tuned. I'll tell you what, guys, one of the first things I'm going to talk about is the handling of this bike. This bike handles, well, again, it's kind of a, you know, it's a retro style bike, so immediately I'm going to tell you that it's going to bring me back into time, and it reminds me a lot of my T100, the Triumph T100. It really does, on a lot of different aspects, but in particular the way that it handles. The handling of this bike is without a question old school for British style bikes. Even though this is a Japanese bike, it is definitely has that old school flair, and I really enjoy it. Similar to the Interceptor 650, similar to the T100 or the T120s, similar to pretty much all the English style bikes that are out there in the retro looking, guys. It just is what it is. And again, what I mean by that is it's really nimble. The bike is very nimble. It's quick in acceleration going around the corners. It trail brakes beautifully. It's a really great motorcycle when it comes to handling. And I think, you know, again, no wobble in the front end, which is critically important. If you ever get on a bike and you've got some front end wobble at differing speeds, and you'll see me do it periodically, every time I ride, I do that. I'll take it at low speeds, I'll take it at intermediate speeds, and I'll take it at high speeds, and I'll pull my hands off her just to see if I get any wobble, which tells me a couple different things. If you don't really know, wobble will tell you if your neck bearings are shot. It'll tell you if your air pressure is low. It'll tell you if your spokes, if you're riding a spoked bike, if they're out of line. It'll tell you if you have too much weight on the back end. It'll tell you a lot of different things with front end wobble, and God forbid you ever have that. If you do, get it to your local dealer or bike shop as soon as possible, because you want to make sure these things are fixed. A lot of times you know, a cupping in a tire will create it too, but the primary cause for it most of the time is either low air pressure in your tire, or your neck bearings are a little shot, if you will. But this is a new bike, so I don't expect any of that. However, I always check. But as far as handling, guys, this thing just, it handles like a dream. And again, handles like old school retro English style bikes, and I guess that's the best thing for me to say. A standard, an English standard. I think that's the whole criteria, is what we should start calling these bikes, like the T100s, and motorcycles like the Bonnevilles, and of course the Nortons, and you know, the Honda CB 650, which we had. The Suzuki GS550s, not the L's, but the E's. Those bikes are all that English style, and they all handle very similarly. And of course, the Interceptor 650 you can throw in that market as well too, because it's they handle great. And I mean, they're not a sport bike. If you're looking at sport bike, or even comparison to the CL X from CF Moto that I rode here a couple weeks ago, it doesn't handle as well as that. That bike really handles well. But this bike, for what it is, handles fantastically. And you can see us going around the corners here. You know, it's got a great lean angle to it. And again, I'm not going to go overly crazy on the bike. It doesn't belong to me. So we always ride with consideration. And the fact of it is that we got a lot of deer out there. But as far as handling, I'll tell you what, my first impressions is I really enjoy the way this is. It brings me back to time. Not as much as what the Continental GT did, because that, man, before I did my modifications and turned my the T100 and the Norton 850 and 750s into cafe style racers, or race-ish style bikes, this is what it felt like. And of course, CB650 and the GS 550, those bikes all felt this exact way, beautifully. Fun, English style. a standard, if you will. English standard. Like I said, I'm going to coin that whole what do you call it, category motorcycle. We're going to call this English standard because this is exactly what it is. So what's something else that I think is really cool on the first impressions? As far as the way that the bike rides and as far as comfortability, it gives you an upright seating position. You've got more of like a drag style bar with a little bit of a rise in the well, a little bit of rise in the handlebars, not too much. They're not overly wide, which is basically English style, but what the bike does is it gives you a very comfortable seating position. And what I like most about it is that seat has just a little bit of upgrade angle for the passenger, which enables us taller guys to slide back and forth a little bit, which is really good, which I think is probably one of the most important factors of this bike. And the fact of it is that it gives you some places to hang your knees against too. It's already got some knee pads on the tank, and for a situation like this, as far as the gripping the tank with your legs, you can do that really easy with this bike, which makes it comfortable. Mid controls, a way that the tank is small enough in the back to be able to grip the tank with your legs if you're getting really aggressive with it. But as far as the seating position, again, the tank pads give you the ability to grip the tank really nice and easy. The seating position is comfortable, straight up and down. You're just riding easy, which means you could do quite a long distance on this bike. I mean, if you have forward controls, it's going to be a lot more comfortable on a cruiser style bike, but this is not, given the English standard that we're going to call it. But it is very, very comfortable. And again, I rode a lot of miles on these English style motorcycles. English style? No! On these English style motorcycles. And that means that I'm kind of used to having this kind of seating position. Now, obviously with the Himalayan, it's similar, but with an ADV throw, and of course, classic 350, again, classic English retro style. Gives me all that same kind of seating position, and I'll tell you, I feel like I'm on one of those bikes, and that makes me happy. Now let's take this on a back road that is a little bit bumpy, and we'll see how the suspension feels. How does that sound? Well, overall, as far as what the rider triangle is and the comfortability of the motorcycle, I would say, yeah, that's pretty strong. And we're on a kind of a road that's a little bit bumpy, so it'll tell me how the suspension feels. And I'll be honest with you, this is straight out of the dealership, and I haven't touched the suspension at all. And I have to admit, this thing is pretty freaking smooth, because this road is not the best. Is all I'll tell you. There's a lot of bumps, and you guys remember that CLX where I was A, B, C? Well, I'm not doing that here, and it's a similar type of road. Yeah, this is, I'll tell you what, first class as far as suspension without even adjusting anything. You can't adjust the front end the way it looks, but you can in the back. You cannot in the front, and you can in the back. But I'll tell you, that rebound is nice and slow. Yeah, I mean, like I said, well, there's a couple big bumps right there, and I'm listening to my voice. I'm not getting any, which is really cool. And again, it's handling really well. There's not a lot of gravel on this road, which I'm not going to take this bike on a gravel road. That's not what it's built for. However, as much rain as we've had over here the last couple of weeks, there's a lot of gravel in the corners and in the low spots, like right there. But again, suspension, yeah. Tell you what, one of the better I've been on in a long time. I have to admit that. This has got a great suspension under it. Wow, impressed and surprised. So the W800 does give me a good ride. A nice soft ride without touching it whatsoever. For my weight, over 260 pounds. Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And that is its looks. God. There's two factors to this. Number one, of course, it's a Kawasaki, which means that the fit and finish is going to be near perfect anyways. I mean, it rivals Honda, it rivals Harley Davidson. Well, you know, the newer Harley Davidsons, not necessarily the old ones, but it does rival those. A BMW, I would say this thing is every bit as nice as fit and finish. But there's one thing that really stands out on this motorcycle, and it's the reason why I wanted to ride it. I gotta tell you guys, there are very few motorcycle engines on the market today that I consider a work of art. A couple of them are. I would say the Shovelhead from Harley Davidson. I would say the Knucklehead from Harley Davidson. Those bikes, those engines were simply gorgeous. I think they're beautiful. This one, every bit and maybe more so. I think this is one of the prettiest engines ever put on a two-wheel platform. I think it's giving me that old school feel, and I'll tell you, that's probably that's why I wanted to ride the bike more than anything else, is that engine, because it is freaking beautiful. I love the way this motorcycle engine looks. It is, like I said, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably the best looking engine on the market for 2022, period, end of story. I think it's gorgeous. There's nothing looks better. And guys, if you disagree with me, put it down in the comments. I want to hear your opinion on what an engine looks like, because most engines today, particularly with the water cooled, or yeah, they're hideous. That goofy radiator sitting in the front, man, just takes it away from me. I don't like the way it looks at all. But this thing here, it screams old. And I am old Man Ronin. So it brings me back. But this motor here has such a special look to it, and let me know if I'm going overboard. I've got a crush on the W800 engine. I'll tell you what, guys, I really do love where I live, and it's just beautiful because you can see all kind of exciting things like that right there. Did you see that? That's right, guys, it's time for another Old Man Ronin Duracoating giveaway. And this month we're giving away Duracoating polishes and waxes, and this stuff, I've been using it for a long time. I actually chased these guys to see if they would, now they don't sponsor the channel, they don't give me any money or anything like that, but what they did do is offer to give a discount, and if you use coupon code RONIN, you can get 20% off. Also, if you want to win some free stuff, all you have to do is be a subscriber. Make sure you comment below on what time you saw Little Ronin go by, and also email me at oldmanronin@gmail.com, and we'll put you in the running to be a winner for this week. And last week's winner was... Well, overall, guys, my first impressions of the W800 is this is a solid motorcycle, and it will make anybody who decides to ride one and to buy one an extremely happy camper. But I do encourage you to ride it. I want you to get out there and ride as many motorcycles as you want, particularly if you're a new rider and you don't really understand the style that you want to get into. Kind of know what you want to do with it. If you want to use it just as a commuter, then check one out in the lower CCs. But if you want something that's going to cruise, look at the big ass bikes, the ones that are over 1200 cc's. And if you want it all around, well, that's the realm of the Interceptor,
nope.
INT 650, and also the W800. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification button, share and comment. I read all the comments and comment on as many as I possibly can. Want to send a big thanks out to Mid-Ohio Power Sports, because they're letting me borrow these bikes for a week or so and riding them and giving you my not only first impressions but my overall thoughts and feelings about all these different models of motorcycles. Once again, guys, make sure you ride safe and keep her on two wheels, baby. I love this bike.